So this week's vlog is a little bit different. I found this footage from almost a year ago. I sat down with my grandfather on Christmas Eve and I asked him questions. It's a wholesome video. I don't know why I never posted it, but I'm really glad that I found the footage on this SD card because this is gonna be a video that I can look back on and remember my grandfather for. Grandpa, this video is for you. I hope all of you enjoy this. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button because we're trying to hit 11K before the end of 2022 and we are so close. Murphy, hey, kick us off. Launch us into the video, brother. You've been launched. I wanted to ask you some questions and I wanted to document it on camera. They're personal questions, and if you go down a rabbit hole, feel free to keep talking. You can say whatever you want. If it gets personal, it gets personal. If it doesn't, it doesn't. The first question is, right now, out of the 77 years that you've lived, what's the best thing that's ever happened in your life?
That would be when I met Sandy.
We're crying on the first question. That's it? Is that what you want to say?
You only want one answer, correct?
I guess, yeah. Number 2. This one's tough. Do you regret not doing anything in your life? And if you do regret it, is it something that you can do before you die?
Yeah. I regret that I never took her to Hawaii. And that's what she wanted.
Grandma?
Sandy, yeah. But I didn't get a chance. Now I would not go.
Really? Why would you not go now?
To me, it's like a slap.
It's a hell of a trip.
It's a slap on the face, and I didn't have as much interest myself, but it's something I could have done for her.
In the past year, is that it for that question?
Yeah.
Number 2. You wouldn't go to Hawaii now. In the past year, when was a moment you were truly happy?
When she was born.
In the past year.
Oh, yes. She's only a year old.
I'm a year old. Wee toddler.
In the past year, I guess I would say Christmas last year.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think so.
Does this year suck?
No, it's a little different, and that's good.
Yeah, fair enough.
You didn't do a clown bar, did you?
Not in the last year, no.
But you really like that.
I enjoyed it very much.
That's probably the best play I've ever been in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about Cinderella? Did you see Cinderella?
Yes. Yeah, and she was quite a star, so it was very good. And he's a great singer too. I just couldn't believe it. Good acting, both of you.
And he said that Grandma would be very proud.
Oh yeah.
She would have loved it.
Okay.
So Christmas last year, because this year stinks.
That is not what he said.
This year's great too.
Alright, when was a time, any time in your life, that you laughed so hard that you nearly peed your pants?
Oh, let me think.
I remember a time when you and Dave would do the birdseed joke and you'd laugh so hard you couldn't even...
He carries that birdseed joke yet today.
I've heard that before.
Who was the comedian that had the band that you would always go to?
At the Rainbow Room?
Yeah,
In
that was
London?
Skip.
I laughed really hard that time. I remember that.
He was a real hoot.
It probably is sometime that you were with the guy from New London.
Oh,
the
Bill
band.
Winkler.
Bill Winkler.
He was funny. The time he wore his wife's swimsuit when he went down to the pool at the Pioneer, and then he told the guy that come in there, he says, "You can't be in here without, you got to have a lady's swimsuit."
He laughed pretty hard. I remember when Belle was teeny tiny and we were at Disney World and she was in the high chair. She could barely talk, but there were all these flies that kept flying around by the table, and she's watching them, and she'd go, "Hugh, buggy, 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 buggy." And she'd wait for it to land, and then she'd go.
I remember that.
So Bill Winkler and Belle's murderous tendencies. What was something you were terrified to do? You did it anyway, even though you were terrified, and it worked out in the end, or you learned something from it. Anything early on in your life, like when you were around my age, you were scared to do, or take some sort of leap?
Oh yeah, I remember when my brother wanted me to go and join him playing on the road. I was afraid to go, and I eventually just took off and joined it. Well, sat in with them for a while, and then they said, "Fine, you want to play with the group? That's good." So I did it. I think every gall darn job I had, whenever I was about to go to work, they were terrified the first day I had to go to work. I was playing in a club in Florida, Clearwater, Florida, and I was so depressed because people were telling me that I couldn't play it that well. You should give it up, you know.
Saxophone?
Yeah, one of my best friends even said, "Play the trumpet, just throw the saxophone away, don't play it," you know. What happened was there was a guy playing in a nightclub that we were playing in, only he was on the opposite night. His dad was a guy that played saxophone in the big bands. And this guy played jazz, he played everything, just excellent. We used to go to a favorite restaurant after playing in the gig. I saw him in there and I wanted to get up the courage to talk to him. Finally decided I'm going to do it. So I went over by his table and asked, what can I do about this? So depressed trying to play. I play trumpet too, and I played it for a long time, but nobody wants to give me a chance on the saxophone. So what I did was just listen to him, and he said, you can do it. He says, if you want to do it that bad, you can do it. He said, don't worry. He said, it'll all come. So I decided if he tells me that I can do it, I'll be able to do it. So I went out of there with an attitude that was just totally changed. And I said, that's it. So I took the trumpet and I locked it in the closet. Didn't play it for 2 years. I said, now if they want to hear me, they're going to hear me as a saxophone player.
You want to do it? You put your mind to it?
Well, it makes you want to do it all the more.
Exactly.
And then came back to Oshkosh after we were in Florida, and then when I'd play with somebody here, they'd say, oh my golly, are you ever good on that thing? You don't even notice it yourself. You know darn well that you put your time in, you know.
And you got so good you could play 2 saxophones at the same time.
Yeah. The reason for that is because I was playing in Chicago. We went to a nightclub where there was a 4-piece band, and this guy did that. He played 2 saxophones at the same time, and he played, I think it was Yakety sax.
Love that one.
Yeah, me too.
And he was playing it, and I sat there with my $6 Coke or something like that, because this was an expensive place.
No way, $6 Coke. That's a lot for today.
Yeah.
And I sat there and I watched that guy and I looked at his fingers. I was trying to figure out how did he do that. Went out of there, I thought, I still don't know how to do it, but I'm going to figure it out someday, you know.
There's a bonus one.
Oh, there's a bonus one.
It's a bonus question, yeah. If you get it right, you get a cookie. This is, I guess just to sum it all up, basically. When you leave this earth, what do you want people to say when they talk about you? It's pretty deep, I know.
I would say nothing bad. I don't want to say anything bad.
You know, you remind me of Tom Brady. You've gotten old, so you can't physically play the things that you used to play. Your mind is so advanced on the topic. You still have all of the knowledge of your heyday, but your body has just deteriorated to the point where you can't like physicalize it anymore.
Right.
It's so interesting.
It's not interesting. It's miserable. You want to be able to do it.
Over time, you gain so much knowledge. You become wiser and wiser. That's what I was trying to say. I was trying to connect it.
Yeah, my most valued thing that I really value it in myself, I got mechanical ingenuity. See, like the car quits running, and I could be out there and I could figure it out, you know, whatever. And I could always either learn it real fast or figure out how to fix it or figure something out. And you use that in your life all the time. I think it's one of the most valuable things I have is the ability to do that.
Where'd you learn that?
I think my grandpa. In fact, I remember as a little tiny kid, Grandpa was fixing the brakes on the car. He was sitting cross-legged like that and working on a wheel. And I was right there in his lap, sitting right there. And he had to work around me, you know, to get the work done. And it's the interest that I had. Easy to get along with, never speaking real bad of you. I guess that's mostly it.
We're all being the good persons.
Being a good person.
Yeah.
With your age, your wisdom, is there something that you could tell Bailee, Belle, and Bing, because they're so young, there's one thing that you could tell them that is really important in life, that you wish you had known at their age?
First of all, I would never listen to counselors. I think they're horrible.
Okay. All you counselors watching this video. See ya, make sure to subscribe.
Vice principal was my counselor at school, and he said, what do you want to be? And I said, I want to play trumpet in a circus band. He told me, he says, I think you're a little late for that. Well, I said, I'm in high school. How am I going to go out and play with a circus band? I got to graduate from school for I just thought that he was some kind of a ding-bell.
Yeah, it's a tool.
Yep.
Ding bell. Heard it here first.
I had about a 4th or 5th grade teacher that came and heard me play one time, and he said, you know, when I had you in school, he said, I didn't think you'd ever amount to anything.
Oh my God. Who says that?
Mr. Dahlman, he used to teach it.
Mr. Dahlman, you're an asshole. He's probably dead now, though, right?
I hope so.
I hope so, he says. Well, thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
Any final thoughts for the camera before you go? Say goodbye, sign off. Any social medias that you'd like to plug?
Yeah, leonsandyh@yahoo.com. That's great.
Email me when you can.
Yeah. Email any questions you have.
Email any questions you want.
All right. Thanks for answering the questions.
You're welcome.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to everybody out there.
December 24th, 2021. Almost 2022.
Crazy.
Yeah, flew right by. I'd rather sit and watch the History Channel and learn something about World War II and World War I and some of the things that went on, even though I wasn't a part of it. Love me tender.
Was that I Saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus?
I don't know anything.
Me either. I have a college degree.